All right, football fans, welcome back. My name is Marco, and we have another installment of our Alumni series for the New Mexico Young American Football League, and I am blessed and honored to be standing next to Landrick Brody, a local product here, deep history in all levels of football, and just an overall great guy. Landrick, pleasure, man. Thank you for coming aboard today.
Appreciate you.
Maybe you could give us just kind of a little recap of kind of your experience with YAFL and then kind of your journey through football and what you're doing today.
So YAFL, I kind of got involved with YAFL fresh out of college. I went to UNM here from 2000 to 2005. And actually, Mark, who you interviewed a little bit earlier today, that's who got me involved in YAFL. I was the equipment manager at YAFL from 2007 to 2011. And I just developed a passion for the league, man. At this point, I've had 4 kids that have been through the league, 2 football players, one who's a younger guy who's still going through it now. And I've had 2 cheerleaders. I have my oldest cheerleader cheers in high school now. I have another cheerleader that'll be cheering in the freshman division. So this league is just near and dear to my heart, man. It was the closest thing I could do to stick to playing after I was done.
Now, you also played a little bit of semi-pro football. Maybe you could give us your journey and what's been going on with that.
Yeah. So I played. I was done at UNM 04, 05. We got sort of an indoor circuit here in Albuquerque. In 08 and 09, I played for the New Mexico Wildcats, who played at the Santa Ana Star Center.
That's right.
Then we had another team, the New Mexico Stars. I played for those guys in 2013 and 2014, and then we got the Duke City Gladiators, which I've played.
Championship.
Yep. I played for the Gladiators in 2015, 2016, 2017, and I was the offensive coordinator for 2018 and 2019.
So you were part of that championship run.
Yeah, back to back. We had 2 in a row.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when we're thinking about football and a lot of the time and effort that you put into it, and I know you're really into the coaching side and take care of kids, I happened to bump into you, strangely enough, in Denver, Colorado at one of the Glacier clinics, and that's not something that YAFL pays for. That's something that's on your dime. Tell me a little bit about why you do things like that and what's your inspiration for doing things like that?
I just look at it, the game is evolving, and I think that it's our job as coaches, as people that are trying to reach out to the youth, to evolve with it. There's a lot of new techniques and things to make the game more safer. Because all of us know that our sport's a little bit of at attack right now. Those glacier clinics and things like that, it gives us more of a heads up, more of a different way of looking at things, a newer school way, I call it. It's better ways to tackle, it's newer ways to tackle. A lot of people like the Heads Up USA tackling that we use at YAFL now, a lot of those coaches at that glacier clinics, they reiterate those type of things. So I took my whole staff this year. I took 2, myself and another offensive guy, 2 defensive guys, and we cliniced it away, man. We went to every clinic we could find that related to youth. I sent them there, and it's just like I said, we want to give a good product to our kids. We want to put them in a position where they can succeed in this game, and that clinic, it does a good deal to help us.
You know, and I think about you, Landrick, I look a lot up to you because I kind of came through YAFL when you were going through too, and you were kind of on all sides of the equation. And I think about the impact you've had on these young kids today. When you're looking back as a coach and a parent, because you kind of played both roles, what do you think the biggest differences are between the two, and where do you think the buckets are today, and what would you recommend that each side kind of look at when they're doing these things?
As far as I look at it from a standpoint is, man, kind of let the coaches coach, let the players be players. In my eyes, the parents should be the kids' biggest cheerleaders. I look at things from a standpoint where coaches are. I don't look at the X's and O's from that standpoint. I look at it as far as what can a coach bring to a kid. It's all about the buy-in. That's what I look at it as from more of that standpoint. If a coach can get a parent or a kid to buy in, it helps it helps the program. I've been around some coaches that are great X's and O guys, and it shows in the product they put on the field as far as the kids, the way they perform, the way they act. I've seen people that hadn't been the greatest X's and O guy, but they create such a culture they create a culture that kids follow. And that's what I try to implement in all of my kids, man. And from parents on up, if parents can have their kids buy into that culture, it creates a better product for the kid. It creates a better experience. Because at the end of the day, man, it's all about the experience. You want that experience to be something that they can go through life with.
So, that's such a great commentary on kind of what the nature of the game is, really. It's less probably about, like you said, wins, losses, more about just teaching kids things outside of the game. When your sons talk about the game and they relay memories and things, do they typically talk about specific plays on the field, or they talk about relationships and things they built when they were going through YAFL?
They talk about the relationships, man. And I think that's what carries more than anything you would ever, whatever you can take from this game, those relationships will last forever. I tell a story to my kids all the time. My best friend in life now, he's a accountant for Mercedes-Benz. He stopped playing football when we were in the 10th grade, but the relationship we built, it was a relationship of accountability. Through that game, we were able to hold each other accountable in life, man. And that's what I always try to kind of feed to my kids, to carry on to each other, that accountability towards life. Because at the end of the day, you and I know, some of those guys don't even go play football past the high school level. Some of them don't play throughout the high school level. But that accountability, that relationship that they build, it lasts a lifetime, man.
That's amazing. And I think you've hit it on the head. That's probably the funnest thing I remember about kids and stuff is the memories off the field rather than on the field. So great point. You brought up something that's kind of interesting and sort of forgotten about in YAFL, and that's the cheerleading side. Mm-hmm. I was happy that you mentioned that, because a lot of times we forget this is not a football-only league. This is a football and cheer league. And I remember bumping into you at the cheer competition, and you were the greatest cheerleader on that sideline. I'll tell you what, speak a little bit about the cheer program and how much that impacts the youth females in our league as well, who also play football, but the ones that decide to cheer. Tell me a little bit about that. Your daughter was in that.
I think that the cheer brand makes it more of a full family experience. It leaves nobody out. Like I tell people all the time that the YAFL football season, it was one of the happiest parts of the year in my life. It's a time where my entire family's together, and that cheer program it instills the same qualities in the football program that it does. My daughters they hold themselves to a high standard because of what they went through the cheering process. It's the same thing as for this being accountable for your teammate. It's a conditioning aspect to it that my girls don't always agree with, but that cheerleading perspective of it, it makes it more of a true family event. Like it's the one time of the year, every weekend that my family, all of us are together, and it makes it a blast. The cheer perspective makes it a blast.
Yeah, I mean, and I watched how much fun you were having, and it wasn't nothing to do with football. Just cheering on the girls and your daughter, and your wife was there, cheerleading coach, and it was just a really cool experience to see it firsthand. As we close out our conversation today, and you're thinking about maybe some people out there in the community that are thinking about coaching or thinking about signing up for football, what kind of words of advice or wisdom would you give to those parents that are sort of on the line? They're not sure what they should do and how they should do it, if they should sign up their young kid or wait till they're high school. What would you say to those parents?
Honestly, I would. This is something I would always advise. If your child has any interest in signing up in football, I would do it right away to give them that opportunity to kind of be involved in that situation. Like I said, it'll bring out something in your kid. It helps from the school aspect. It holds them accountable from a school aspect. It also gives those kids something. I look at my kids. It always gives them something to look forward to. They know if my grades are good, coach is gonna be good. Gonna be good with me at practice. I hold my kids accountable from an academic standpoint as well. One of the first things I ask my kids when they come to practice, how are your grades, man? Because one doesn't come without the other. If you want to do it on a high school level, you want to do it on a college level, those grades come along with it. And to be honest, the grades come first. So I always, and for those parents that are discouraged or even question coaching, the reward of that is endless, man. And I was listening to Coach Mark talk earlier. I run into those kids. My first year coaching was in 2008. And it was kind of like I was through into that position, and I kind of didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I would get out of it. And I run into the same thing. I run into kids in the store. They're grown men, man, and they still remember those tidbits of practice.
Coach, what's up?
Yeah, they remember tidbits of practice. The shoes I used to wear. Coach, you remember you had those red shoes? So
That's amazing,
the reward in those type of things are endless to me. So if people ever have a thought or inkling of a thought of wanting to coach, I think it'll be a great opportunity.
All right. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure today to be able to spend a little time with Landrick Brody. He's a great member of our community. He does a lot of different things for us, both with his family and other families, has a lot of inspiration. And I tell you, Landrick, I just appreciate you taking a minute with me, man, and it's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
Appreciate
Good luck
it,
to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Audio Jungle.